Okay, so we had China stimulus, rate cut, absolute chaos in a good way for not just commodities, like silver in particular, silver miners in particular, the medium tiers, juniors. I don't even look at. I mean, yeah, some of the juniors I actually took a look at real quick. Yeah, 8, 9, 10%, but you get that anyway in the mid tiers without the minus 30% the next day. So, but the point is the mid tiers outperformed the seniors, silver outperformed gold, so it was extreme bullish stuff. Best performers was silver miners. What else do we get? SLV. I want to take a look at SLV for once and silver because they are nearing, you know, all-time 52-week high closes. That's next, probably tomorrow. That will probably continue. Silver miners going up. Dollar dropped massively. You can see that. Look at this close, worst close in the whole period since, down here. So that looks like it's going to keep going down below 100. That would coincide quite nicely with silver making new all-time high, like 32.50, close above that. Then we run to 34. I don't even remember the levels. That's how much this move took me by surprise. Obviously, I had trimmed twice, not in a row, but yeah, once, and then we went back down. I nibbled back in, not enough, thinking it would go lower. I was too greedy. We went back up. I trimmed again, thinking, no, it's not going to happen. We're going to have a market crash. There were several reasons why I thought we would go lower. I was wrong. It went back up, and now it looks like it's going to keep going up. So my mistake was to have trimmed too much or too often, too little, too often. But thankfully, I kept my core position at all times in case I'm wrong. I was wrong. It's gone higher. Worst case scenario is I make less money than I should have. That's okay. I'll take it. Not as bad as losing money. So I don't want to kick myself in the teeth too much. All right, let's take a look at everything. By the way, market just went sideways. That's probably the best thing because when you think about it, when I think about it long term, I want to make a lot of money, but I don't want the world to end either. And at one point, I want to sell my miners, which okay, I've been doing too much, but I'm talking about closed positions. I don't think I'll ever go short, but unless it's a crazy move and a change in macro thesis. But probably sell my miners at one point, close all my metals and miners positions, and then buy Tesla, Nvidia or Amazon or something like that. I own a bit of Amazon, but blue chips that at the moment I just completely avoid because the macro thesis is not in line. So I don't want the world to end either. Anyway, I digress. Let's look at DXY. I already have. Close below 100.5, worst close ever. Looks like we're going to go lower, right? Great stuff. US dollar, Japanese yen, still could go. Look at that. We touched the descending. Now what do we do? Well, we should go back down. Maybe we double bottom here and go back up, but we should go back down. We've hit resistance. That should coincide DXY going lower. We don't really care too much. I mean, this just happens to coincide with the move lower, but that's, the China stimulus that really pushed everything up. Copper, by the way, all the way up, which explains why silver went all the way up. All right, let's take a real quick look at the markets sideways. Like, yeah, they were green, but it's just staircasing higher as they've been doing just non-stop for years. But it's not like they helped silver miners go up. They were absolutely irrelevant. So we're not going to take too long looking at those. The yields, not much, just sideways, bit lower there on the longer, like the 2 year. So it looks like that is an indication of what's to come for the dollar. The 30 year is just holding up a little bit. Okay, you can see worse, bad close. Actually, if I look at that, that looks just like the DXY. Should have had that in there. But otherwise, the twos, the one probably new low, 2 years, five. You can see what's happening. The lower we get, the more lows. The 2 year, look at that, it's going to go low. Where's that going to go? Look at that. That looks ugly. Down we go. And they're already talking about rate cuts in November. Let's see how much they're going to do. By how much? Is it 25? Is it 50? Could be 50, huh? Just to help Trump, or I don't know. Is it after we know who the next president is? Doesn't really matter who the president is. Probably going to go lower. Down goes the DXY, down goes yields, up. Gold and silver. Let's look at gold. Let's look at gold first. Look at that. Remember 2000? Look at that. Just up, consolidation. And then look, that's actually a bearish flag. You know, normally it's supposed to go down, but it's so strong, it's just squeezing up. 3,000, it's coming. It's coming this year, probably. That's absolutely wild. That's like runaway train, it's the end of the world stuff. It really is. Silver, let's get straight to it. Hasn't even made new highs there. Okay, now silver should. Why are we not seeing the history? I don't get that. Okay, let's zoom in then. So next stop, obviously, is 3250, right? So today we did, by the way, look at this back test. Even yesterday, Monday's back test, where did we close? Just above the descending retest. Now, I was still kind of hoping we could go back down. I was sort of hesitating. I was considering chasing. Wouldn't have been a real chase, but and I didn't. I regret it. Who cares? Bam, up we go. Definitely closed above this little level, 31.75, let's call it. Next stop is really the test of 3250. If we close above it, I'll show you later, but well, let's show you now. SILJ has already done it, which is very bullish, and that's an indication of what you can expect for silver. And when that happens, you can start looking higher. I mean, it's like I can't wait to get to here, but then you can start looking at the next level up, which is basically 15 bucks. Yeah, you know, like here I'm trying to be a bit conservative in case we stop early. It's really 15, and then the high is 15.50. So you can see that's pretty much 10% on average. Here you got about 8 to 15, you got about 11.45. And here you got about 14 point, you know, give or take about 10% till your next move up. So I am not trimming anything now. I made my little nibble mistakes and now I'm holding on my core position, which is now grown again. Of course, today was a nice big day. Let's look at silver, by the way. So we've got 32.50. It's obviously picture perfect, same thing. Silver, here we go. 32.50 is where we need to close above. We know SILJ is showing that already. Look at SLV. I know SLV is just a copy of silver, but look at this. I hardly ever go to it. Look how old my annotations are, but look at this. Nice big round number. 29.50, yeah. Don't you think we're going to close above that and at least test 30 since the US ETFs is what everyone flocks to, and still SLV we know is a load of crap, just paper stuff, but you might as well test and close above 30 on SLV. So I reckon silver will close above 32.5, and at the same time we'll probably test 30 on SLV, which is probably 33 on silver, and then we'll close above it. And then bam, off we run. And next stop, I don't know why it's not showing up here. That's a bit weird. I think I got the wrong silver. Yes, I do, Jesus. Okay, next stop, I believe I can trust my old notes, 34.4 something. I don't think we're gonna get there tomorrow, so I've got time to look at that a bit more. In fact, let's just look at that now. Next stop, so 32.50. Yeah, it's actually should be all the way up here, shouldn't it? Then up we go. We'll probably start hitting this 33.80. Now, whatever it's up here, 34, 3. Yeah, 34.29, just to be sure, if you want to trim it. But you know, I'm scared of saying that word since it's been the worst idea, really. I should just held and never traded. Actually, you know what? I'll go through some of the stocks, but you know, EXK, some of them, Fortuna, they've still got a long way to go before they catch up to some of the areas where I trimmed. But it's true that overall, I probably would have still been better off not touching anything. But then again, I've had years where I didn't touch anything. And actually, my first two miners, Pretium, three miners, McEwen and Goro, had I not sold those, let alone trimmed them, I would have not had enough to trade long term. So I don't regret overall. Okay, let's look at, we've already looked at SILJ. Let's look at GDXJ real quick. Let's reset the chart. So look at this. Look at this. A beautiful close, new all-time, new 52-week high, of course. Next stop is 52 on GDXJ. That doesn't take much, especially if we've got silver That's going to run for 32.50. That's a little 2% move in GDXJ. No problem. We can do that even pre-market. After that, we are going to 54 point something or a little gap fill there, and ultimately 56. Well, let's see if we can close above 52 first. But there you can see those horizontal lines I've got. Next one will be up here, but we've got time for that. Basically, 60 is where we're running towards. And we're not even near our post-COVID highs. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. And we should already be there now to some extent. That's 30% away. Wow. GDX, which was a bit calm today, let's be honest. I mean, gold was up 1%, which is quite good, but we've seen so many days like that it's kind of nothing special. But look at GDX. We touched, I didn't even notice that. All eyes was on silver so much, I didn't even realize this. This 41.5-ish high here in GDX, you can see why over there. Also kind of over here. We touched it close below it, but no big deal. Tomorrow, the silver continuation should see us close above it. Really easy. Next test is going to be this 43.5, which is how much of a move from where we are? 5%. That's fine. That's fine. It's all about how much SILJ can run now. Like GDXJ will just copy SILJ, not do as well. Maybe just off by one, just like today, off by 1%. Actually, 1.5 here, but there was a special day. Basically, SILJ will outperform by 1.5%. GDX will also underperform GDXJ. Let's just see how much silver and SILJ can run. It was all about silver today. By the way, let's look at copper. Look at that nice strong move. That will help out. That can keep going. Next stop on copper, probably something like here. This, I don't know, maybe move it up. This, move it up. Boom, boom. That looks really good. Copper, obviously, Dr. Copper, the economy is great now because China's stimulated, but it really helps. Copper and silver together, that's extra emphasis on the credibility of the move. Okay, let's look at the actual miners. I'm going to run through it because it's only Tuesday. Newmont copying GDX, but outperforming it. You can see that's made a new high. We've taken out the 52-week high. We're running next stop. I'm not even sure about this level. Actually, it's just the gap fill, but I don't see why it will stop there because GDX has just clear skies, just like GDXJ, just like SILJ, especially if we close above 32.50, especially if we close above 33 on SLV. Gold, there's no level. It's just every day is a nice new all-time high. Even if we go down 1.5%, no one cares. You buy the dip. So gold resistance is like $3,000. I pick your number. Support, I'm not even going to mention support. It doesn't matter until you have a decent dip. Then we can look at support. I don't expect a drop tomorrow to take us below today's low of day. So forget support. Really, it'd have to be some surprise move. How are you going to get a surprise massive drop after China stimulus? So just looking at resistance, next stop, I'm going to call it a window close 57.80 on the gap fill. Barrett Gold underperforming. I think there was some news. What was it again? Was it Philippines? I don't know. Someone told me about some mine issues. Doesn't matter. We've got gold going all the way up. They've got lots of operations. This should really be moving a lot higher. A lot higher. So, but we had a couple of those and then bam, next day up it goes, new all-time high. This is a chase candidate, I would say, for the long term. Barrett Gold really should be, I mean, God, you can make 100% in this one quite easily, don't you think? From where it is 20 old highs at 55. It's a big senior. Even Warren Buffett's invested in it once. Only up 1% today. That's disappointing, but also an opportunity. Gap fill will be the support, but again, who cares about support? Agnico Eagle, again, only up 1.68%. Really, Newmont was the best senior, I think. Agnico Eagle up 1.68, new all-time high close. That was nice to see. Next up, 88/90. That's the absolute historic high. It should touch it, go sideways, make new all-time highs, run towards 100 is probably the best senior there is. Newmont can probably make more percentage-wise because it's so crushed relative to where it should be historically, but Agnico is just a monster, an everyday monster. Pan American Silver, this should be way higher. even after a day like today where it's up 6%. This should be testing, it should be at 24, maybe already new all-time highs. So this is one that I'm actually considering adding to if we have any kind of a retrace tomorrow for whatever reason. Like we dip below 22, bam. I just want my full position back. I'm done. I learned my lesson. Sorry. Accept my apologies. And in obviously, I'd sold lots of areas. I think overall I'll be buying back higher than my last sell. I think I tried to be cute here on the gap fill and I sold more. I'd be buying back there. So overall, I'm buying back 1 or 2% higher. Who cares? I've made so much money the last couple of days, weeks. New all-time high portfolio. We should all be there. That I don't care losing a couple hundred on a buyback. Not even losing, it's like buying back a few hundred higher than where it would have been. And 2 days later, I expect to make all that money back anyway, just on that small tranche I rebuy back. So anyway, that's something I'm considering. Pan America, absolute monster long term, should go all the way back up to 40. We're at basically 20, 22, same thing as 20 buyback. If we go under 22 and then just hold for the long term again and keep my mouth shut. Resistance for this one, yeah, 23, 24. Again, I'm just looking at 24. I'm a bit confused as to why it's not there already. I know it had bad news. That's probably the reason. But with silver pushing it up, silver should have pushed it up more. There are some worse stocks that got really pushed up today. And that's what I like to see. Just all boats get the tide to right. Yeah, get the rise from the tide. Next one, Wheaton standard, a bit like Agnico, just constantly staircase higher, new all-time high close. It's already made new all-time highs. It will continue. It's a fantastic business model. Whether the price of gold goes up or down, to be honest, whether the cost for the miners go up in particular and down, it also doesn't really matter. But up in particular, you've got that leverage. But I mean that sort of safety hedge wise. But this will just keep going high. It doesn't surprise me that it made a new all-time high close. Franco Nevada, I was going through the miners that you can chase, but I don't feel like bringing it up right now. But Franco Nevada was Pan America was one of them. Barrick Gold was one of them. Franco Nevada is another one. Just yes, I understand it has, it's down here because of this Panama operation issue, but that was a long time ago. This belongs all the way up in the, 150s, if not 170. This is one you can buy long term, I reckon. So this should be above 130. This is a chaser for me. Franco Nevada, Pan America, Barrick Gold. Now Metalla, look at this, beautiful, tested the old high after the breakout, this descending, remember, a long-term descending breakout. What the hell is this stock doing here? Do you know where we are? This is not some crappy stock. I don't even consider this a junior. Maybe it is. Maybe it's the only junior I have. I don't know, but I think Peter Schiff owns it. That's good enough for me, by the way, or at least via Adrian Day. But look at this, descending breakout, absolutely did it. Now it's retesting this. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? It's going to close above what, 340. It's going to scream past 350 like it doesn't even matter. Touch 4, and then by then it's already done the big move, but then the move actually starts. I always trim a bit earlier, then it'll probably start running to 6. I think there's a lot of money in this one. So this one, I have my eye on it. I actually have enough. This is no need for me to chase this because I already have quite a bit in there. It's worth a good amount. So I'm good. This is not a chaser for me, but if I had very little in, I might consider it. Right now, let's look at the silver stocks. This is where the fun starts. First Majestic. By the way, this is a chaser. I own some, obviously. Now, it was crappy. It's been crappy for a long time. Lower highs, lower lows down here, but then double bottom. Oh, we're gonna do a buyback. Well, that just destroys all the negative. This can go. We're never gonna go there again. All the negative news, we don't care about that. Um, broke out this descending, kept going, went sideways here because the sector was going sideways. Then today, bam, time to go higher. We did not stop at a level here. We're just halfway towards the next level, which in my opinion is clearly here, right? You got the descending and you got the horizontal. So six, let's call it 680, but it's a few cents higher. That's your next stop. Normally I would say sell at 679, do it if you want, but I'm not doing that. I've switched. So I don't know if I switched. It's a bad habit. It's hard for me to break this habit, but if we get to 679, for example, what I would normally do is trim. And if we go lower, I would buy back because we're in some serious bull market. What I should do is do nothing if we go back down, buy. If we go back down without even going up, I should buy. I don't know if I have the ability to stop the trim when it's screaming in front of me, but I need to. I need to chill out with my cells, even if they're just little 1 or 2% of the of just a minor. Like imagine I got, I don't know, 4K in 5K in First Majestic. I'm talking about selling $50. That's nothing. $100, right? 2%, just 100, just out. Bam. Remember, I got 20, 25 mines. They do that, you're out 2,500 or something. So it's a little, and that's probably half of the profit that I make on the day. So even if I take out 2% of all my miners, it's still half of the profit that they give me on that day. So by the end of the day, all my miners combined are still worth more despite taking out all that money. So I know why I do all this time. It's like this perfect psychology cushion I give myself. But honestly, I should probably anyway, just a conversation I need to have with myself just before I sleep tonight. But this is the level that I'm looking at. And if it gets there, we'll see if I trim. I, we'll see if I trim. If we go lower, I'm buying, that's for sure. I'm buying. This is one that I think we can chase. I remember now what I was going to talk about because look where we are. Look where the hell we are. It's just on a buyback. SILJ was about to do 3250s, SLV 33. We're about to squeeze and hit, fuck it, I'm going to say $50. Like we're going to 3,000, we're going to $50, going below 99 this week. That's the kind of stuff we're going. This is it. Honestly, like all the stars are aligned. And if you're ever going to hold First Majestic, and if ever you're going to think it's going to make a move all the way up here, it's going to start with something like this, and it's going to continue from here. So this is a chaser for me. Next one, Fortuna. Now it's had bad news, I think twice. Argentina's not great, but I think it's the only great country in the world for silver miners. So, and I think the politicians will start to realize. I had this good argument, which makes sense. It's basic fiscal philosophy. When you start to lose the revenue from your mining, that's when you realize, okay, we're not going to tax them out of existence or regulate them out of it. We need them. So they start getting realistic. So I don't see a great long-term problem with them being in Argentina. And it is what it is. They all kind of have operations in Argentina. Fortuna, let's zoom out. Where are we? All the way. It's a bit like First Majestic, not as good as First Majestic in terms of the setup, but I think it's a more not established, but better going mine. I just feel like it. I don't even know actually. Now, technically, resistance is here, so close. Look at this nice candle, 7%. Actually, how much? Yeah, 6.5% day. So really, the next stop is 514. We should get there real easy tomorrow. In fact, we should have tested it already today. Really, the next stop is going to be up here. It's going to be just below 550. And then we venture into the gap fill, and the next horizontal is clear. This should still encounter resistance, but I think not necessarily you, should relax about the cells. Again, I've already gone through why, but those are the levels of resistance. This one should encounter some resistance on the way, more than the others that I looked at so far. This is not a chaser, in my opinion. I've got better ones. Pan America, I prefer to chase that. I prefer to chase First Majestic. Next one, my favorite, still my favorite. Look at that, touched my little resistance perfectly. So, and why is it there? It's because it's the high over here. Very simple. So I think I was off by 1 millimeter, but actually I meant to have it. obviously there, which means it touched it perfectly. This one is just my ideal miner. Why the hell do I sell it, by the way? Why do I trim it? 7.6 is resistance. It's done it. Let's get rid of this other little stuff. Tomorrow, what do we do? We're going to close above this 7.6 as long as silver, keeps going, which it probably will. Next stop, dun, probably 950 because of this descending. If this descending didn't exist, I would say, yeah, I would say not even 10, I'd say 1050 to 11. But the descending does exist, so it's probably going to be, let's imagine how long it takes, not long. Let's say 9.5. 9.5, the descending, and then 11, and then 12 point. Well, maybe I'm just a bit too excited looking at this level, but CDE, I can't even going to say this, is a chaser just because of how I know this is never going to go all the way up here because of dilution and this is not reality, but this thing moves crazy. And if silver starts to run, I'm talking about $50 run, like 34, 36, back down to 33, and then 38, and then blah, 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 40, 50. Where is CDE? What if you just go on holiday for 1.5 years, come back, silver's at $63? Where's CDE? Where is CDE? CDE is at 30. You know what I mean? That's it, you retire, finish, it's over. So maybe buying, I mean, I'm not after already trimming at 6 point, I was selling at 6.5. All this area, I think my last sell was 699. I don't know if I sold the sevens, I've forgotten. There's so many sells and so many miners. I'm sure I got something up here. I always trim. I've trimmed so much of this. I've got like 2/3 the position left, which is not good enough for me. So I will buy back. I still think tomorrow we go up, but if I'm wrong, and I hope I am, and we go back down to 7 or below, can you imagine below? I'm buying back. For me, that's a chaser because I'm buying up. Normally, I buy something destroyed, right? Like let's look at EXK. That's what I like to buy down here, 280. But instead, I'm talking about buying CDE at just about 7. That's a chase. Now, a real chase is to buy now after hours, 7:49. Unbelievable. Or tomorrow, it keeps going and you just, FOMO, and you buy it 784. That would hurt. But what's the difference between 690 and 784 when you're looking at, I don't want to say 30 because that's insane, but when you're looking at 12 and 16, because that is coming. That's coming. If silver goes all the way up to 40, that's not ridiculous. Then 16 is all but guaranteed. And that's more than 100% from where we are now. Believe it. 14 is over 100, it's about 100%. So CD is a chaser in that respect, but I would still prefer to buy it red, and I wouldn't buy it green. But I don't know if I'd sell it, even if we're up. I said the next time I would sell would be when we're up 5 to 10% from where we are. Well, we've just made more than 5%. And honestly, if we make another 5% move, I don't know if I could trim more. It would really have to be a compelling reason. Like everything looks tired, and then I would trim like 1 or 2% maybe. All right, so CD looks good. I'd buy it 7 or just below. Next sell 950. I'm just leaving it. All right, next. No, next one's Heckler. Not a chaser. That's personally because I bought this one late. Really good price. Forgot where. It's all over the video. Very nice. Last buy was like down here. Beautiful. But this one, it just, even if I zoom out max, it's got about 100% in it at best. Actually, maybe, oh no, this is the 70s. That doesn't count. Like I always look at 2011. I feel like it can get to 14 after some time, and obviously it can make new highs like Wheaton, like Agnico, but if silver gets to 50, Heckler will just be 100% from where it is now. But 100% is quite easy. So for me, it's not a chaser. Plus, you'd be buying it. It's just made new highs. So not a chaser, but looks amazing. Next resistance, 740, and then 770. That would be quick. That could be done this week. Amazing. It's doing its job. EXK, very nice. Destroyed stock. I actually forgot what the bad news is, but the chart says it all. Very bad news. Down it goes. I bought with some hesitance. I mean, I wasn't hesitating to buy, but I was reluctant to hold too much, so trimmed again too early, gap fill. And then again up here. Now it keeps going, the value keeps going up. So it's back up to being worth what I classify as a medium amount. Although now I think I should be holding a heavy amount. How funny is that? This, a bit like Fortuna, it should encounter heavy resistance. This, I don't know if it counts anymore. Should encounter heavy resistance on the way up because of all the negative news. You're not allowed to just go through everything unless you have silver doing a crazy move, which we've got. And you can see how it reacts up. I think it was the best performing silver stock actually that I hold, better than CDE. Doesn't beat CDE at all, but today it had like 1% better. And now after hours, even more. So it is allowed to go crazy and not care too much about resistance if silver keeps going. And I think silver should keep going tomorrow. So maybe we do get above this area. I think that might still be resistance. It was there. It was support there. I'll leave it in 420. And usually the 20 cent mark is always something to sell. I won't. No, EXK is a bit weak after that bad news. Not like CDE, which, by the way, had good news with Rochester or something, some good drill results. It doesn't even need it. So I've got to mention you got that at the back of CDE. So CDE is such a buy, the dip for me. EXK, I'm just going to hold what I've got. I'm not going to trim unless it gets really extended. It might be that little 1 or 2%, but nothing crazy, no more heavy sells. And again, it depends on if everything looks very weak, like silver's just, nah. I hate even saying the word trim now. But the point is the good stocks I won't be selling. Oh, that's for sure. The weak, yeah, I should say that. It'll be the weak stocks. EXK I classify as a weak stock. And again, I'm trimming 2%. It's not like it's 25% or 50%. It's just take something off the table so that when we have a red day, I take that money from EXK and the worst stocks and then add to CDE or Pan America or Barrick Gold, something that I believe in more for the longer term. So anyway, those are my levels of EXK. The buy, again, I don't think I'll be buying EXK on a drop. I'd be buying First Majestic CDE instead. So I'm not going to be talking about support. Yeah, I feel better. I've clarified it with myself. Mag Silver, new highs. There was no bad news. Doesn't surprise me it made new highs. That's the difference. But I don't like this one longer term because where are we now? 15. Look at that. Like it's not going to get to 30. I mean, it will in 2 years, but I can get First Majestic getting a double in 2 months, you know? Where are we now? 650. Well, 13 is there. We can do that in 2 months would be pretty special, but we can do that in 6 months. Whereas Mag Silver, to do 100%, I could do quite well. It get to the 20s or something, maybe even 24, but it's not getting to 30. You know what I mean? First Majestic will get there quicker. So this one, I'm not sure if I want to buy the dip. Like I might because it's actually worth the least out of my 6 silver stocks. It just depends what everything looks like after I've already added to the better ones, the First Majestic, the Coeur d'Arlène, the Pan American Silver. All right, I am gold. This one didn't make a new high yet, and it had really good news, but I think it's just tired from this huge move, this short retrace, very healthy and bullish looking one, then a bam, another move. And then today, again, this one here is more, it succumbs to gold rather than silver. And still gold's up 1%. This one underperformed. This one should have closed above 560. It didn't. But I'm not adding to it. I'm not selling it. It's worth the amount it's supposed to be worth. It's a medium amount. I'm not in a hurry to sell it. It's a fantastic company to hold long term. But I don't want to add to it because I think I can add to a silver stock instead. So I'm just holding this one. Very nice. Next stock. $6 just because of the round number. It's not really resistance. The real resistance is probably a bit above, but it's just honestly, I don't feel like selling it, so I didn't put too much detail into the sells, but I'd probably do like a little 1% sell here, 1% at 6.15, 1% at 6.29, because I'm not sure where it will stop off. These are all little areas, this little area here also, but I don't care. I don't really care. I'm in no hurry, and but those little areas, because they're all possible ones where it would stop off and not go higher from. I'm holding iron gold, no problem. I'd buy it if it really dips, but if it really dips, others are dipping even more, and I think others can make more. B2 gold, another one which is very strong on very recent news, has a long way up to go, like iron gold, has a very good dividends. Didn't make a new high, a bit like iron gold. Maybe tomorrow it does. It had a big red candle yesterday, so I expect it to close above 340 tomorrow. Uh, kind of regardless of what the metals do. I guess if they're all red, it will probably come back down to 320. But anyway, this one should just end up breaching and clearing and going up more and proving that this is a real breakout. Just would have expected it to be done today, but I kind of understand. This one I'm not selling. You could add to it because it should really make a move, but yeah, you could. Is this a chaser? The thing is, maybe I would classify this one as a chaser, but I have enough in it. This is a bit like Metalla. Uh, like it's worth the same amount as Metalla for me, and it's really low in terms of its price compared to where I think it can go. So I'm holding what I've got for B2 Gold. Equinox, this one made a new high in terms of close, not a new 52 week, but that's coming tomorrow, I reckon. Equinox is another one of those alpha ones that goes crazy when the metal prices go up. It did that today, and it's not really a silver stock either. So doing its job, I expect it tomorrow to be above 650 close. Again, if silver and SLV do its thing. And then up we go, $7, then 750, and then nine. Quite clear for me. Had those in the whole time, still agree with it now. Really nice looking chart. Higher lows, just coiling up here, waiting for that little technical 650 up close, which for me is tomorrow. SSRM, well, they're all beautiful. This one looks good too. Again, yesterday, another one which yesterday had a bad close, was close at low of day. And then today, what happens? A nice little slap in the face. And then we got basically, it would have been good if it closed above six, but it doesn't matter. 599 popped higher than the other few days. What happens next? Well, if silver and SLV do that thing tomorrow, this one will finally close above 610 would be ideal. Just run. Like that's it. You've got everything going for you now. Just run. You've got silver doing its thing. Run. And I think it should tomorrow. It should have done it today. Yesterday's close was probably the reason it wasn't able to muster more, but still 5% is okay. This one should start running, and then it's all about 50-cent increments. Boom, boom, boom. 657, 758. Once you get to eight, okay, it's time to pay attention to the candles here and everything else. And you can see my horizontal lines. That's it. I wasn't even planning on going through my portfolio update, but SBSW, I will also visit because this one, is a multi-metal one. Rhodium, I don't even know what that is. Palladium, platinum, I know what that is. That's moving just like copper, just like gold and silver. So this one, which is dust taken out, is descending after coming up from the depths. I bought this drop, by the way. I remember saying in the video, I chase it at 340. That's what I mean by chasing it. When you think long term, it can do a lot more. That's not a chase. In fact, I think 340 is its COVID low, which is what led me to actually, yeah, even higher. So I bought it below its COVID low. But yeah, the point is, you know, here it's done its little sideways descending breakout, sideways consolidation. Now what? Now we run, we run, we run. I've already placed my sell at 579 for something that I bought all the way down here, And then I still think that it could really start to make its move after we close above 580 or 6, let's say. Then it can run. This one is a 100%er. or more. So that's why this one I'm quite, this is a high risk volatile beast, but I think that it's about to really make it's already made like a big move, but it's about to make another big move. So quite happy about that. And that's what this China stimulus thing's about. It's not just gold and silver. Silver is that industrial effect, the copper, silver, platinum, palladium. You're going to see other commodities, the market, not the markets, but commodities went crazy. And yeah, it was all about silver, dollar drop, market sideways. It's about silver outperforming gold, the juniors outperforming the seniors, and the silver juniors really taking the show. So all right, that will do. Let's see what happens tomorrow, but it's absolutely beautiful, right?